So I just got back from day 1 of Poshfest, and here's a little recap slash my takeaways. So I had breakfast, I did a little welcome, they had a group session about community, nothing really to learn, just to help build camaraderie at the end of the day. And then Manish came on, the CEO, he talked about just the growth of the company again, just trying to hype up the community and stuff like that. And then he did talk about 2 things that they're doing in the future. The first one is going to be this Poshmark consignment thing, where if somebody doesn't want to list something on their own, they can basically send it. I don't know if they send it directly to Poshmark or if they send it to another seller, if they connect them that way. And then basically it's I would list that for somebody on somebody's behalf, so they would still need to have a Poshmark closet, and it would be almost a double listing, kind of I think what you would see on Instagram where you have a shared post, and then if it sells, then you'd split the commission that way. So that can be really cool, but I don't know the ins and outs of it, how they decide who sells what, who's getting the better stuff, things like that. No idea, but I'm sure they'll talk about it more. Maybe they'll even talk more about the hackathon tomorrow. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing was AI listing, and that was a huge thing in Poshfest, at least for today. So in the app, they're going to have a thing where you can I guess do an AI generated listing, and then it'll just create it for you. I didn't try that out. It did have a table where you could go and get that set up, and it would give you a pair of Rothy's. I don't know how that's connected, but everyone's getting all these pairs of actually really cute Rothy's. I didn't get it, so hopefully they'll have that tomorrow. But the thing with the AI is I'm not sure exactly how detailed it is. The first session I went to was a AI session by Meta, and they just talked on and on about AI, things we already knew. And at the end they have this little section of how it can relate to us, how we can use it using listings, and they tested it out with us a little bit. And to be honest, the listings are still subpar. I feel in order to get the type of listing you'd want, you'd have to put in a lot of information, and at that point you're just writing the listing, so it's not really saving any time at the end of the day. I do think this is going to be really helpful in the future once they refine AI, but to this day I think still putting your own knowledge, keywords, knowing what to put about features in order to make it sell is going to be way more important and better than using a AI generated listing. Second session I went to was about trends that my friend Chloe, Finds by Chloe, did, and it was informative. They did talk about a couple different trends blazers, tweed, metallics, different fun collars and things like that. And I know Poshmark usually pulls that in from their data of what's selling, and they put that into their sessions. However, I was kind of surprised by it. I was talking to my other friends about this, and they're not exactly the trends that we've been hearing a lot about for fall, or we're necessarily looking into. So that was a little contradictory to what we felt. Sure, there are things that we're selling, I feel kind of, but not exactly the true trends that we're seeing going into the fall time. And that's probably because the things they're maybe seeing are things that are probably currently selling or were selling, and I'm not sure how much it is about the predictability of what's selling into the future versus what people talk about on TikToks and stuff. I did skip the third session, but the entire time I mentioned the Meta AI and the Rothy's type thing. They had a hat making station, didn't do that. They had a bunch of the vendors that were there, kind of walked around there just a little bit, took some photos, made a little bit of content. But that was kind of it for the first day. I was feeling a little tired. It was more of meh of a day. So if you miss out, you definitely didn't miss out a ton on especially this first day here. We'll see how the second day is. They're gonna do the hackathon like I mentioned. That's usually good, but they do share that virtually, I believe. And then they have 2 more breakout sessions, which I don't know which ones we'll go to, but I'll do a little recap of tomorrow's as well.